Ooh. Hello, bright and shiny beacons of light. I'm Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation. I've got with me Ruru. Well, his full name is Ruby Ruru, the Wonder Rooster. And we are at a temporary Airbnb before we move into our new home tomorrow. And we ran into some technical challenges with setup. And then we had a thunderstorm warning and we were packing stuff up. It passed. We moved stuff back. It's been a little bit of a challenging time. So thank you for bearing with us. I have Rue here to help ground us at this time and help take us into a very centered, gentle place as we begin here. And then he's both wanting to go to sleep, and I don't think he ate enough tonight with the move. So I've actually just packed some food in his soft kennel where he goes to sleep so he can have kind of a midnight snack. Now, that clearly is not what we're going to be talking to you about tonight. Actually, I have the camera set up so that I can't see what's going on here. Well, that's exciting. All of this is exciting, but we're going to make it work anyway. All right. So the topic that Rue and I wanted to talk with you about tonight is what they don't want you to know. And, it's interesting. I'm very much a love and light guy. I'm very much a believer in the shadow only helps the light. And at the same time, it is a really interesting time, is it not? It is plain craziness out there. And it doesn't have to be that way, but the powers that be are trying to hold on to the old story. And when they try to hold on to the old story and the old gasp, things get weird. And that's where we're at right now. However, just because things get weird doesn't mean your life doesn't have to, doesn't mean your life can't take off, doesn't mean your life can't be even better. Sorry, Rue, you're in the shadows. Maybe that's better right there. Now, yeah, I'm in the shadows. How do we get this, Rue, where both you and I aren't in the shadows? Maybe like that, and I'll speak very loudly. This can actually be a time where you're stepping into your greatest power. And that's the thing, the they. And who is the they that I'm referring to? The they I'm referring to is the power structure. And those at the highest level of the power structure want things to, well, stay the same. It's sort of like companies last week talking about oil, saying it'd be fiscally irresponsible, or they didn't even use the word fiscal, just irresponsible to cut back on fossil fuels right now. Oh, it's interesting stuff. And yes, I will be talking more about not global warming. I'll talk about climate weirdness. I'll talk about all of these things in upcoming shows because we're living it. We're all living it together. But that's not what tonight is about. Tonight is about those in power wanting to control your mind and to control my mind so that we're disempowered. That's what's going on right now. So I call this the matrix. You can call it the corporate structure. You can call it the system that's simply taking away your power without you even realizing it. You and me, we're in a system of control, a system where we're being manipulated, a system where your wants, your diswants, your likes, your dislikes, everything you worry about, everything you think about is not under your control. This is such a key point. Everything you worry and think about is not under your control. And even more than that, is probably not what you would naturally worry and think about. So not sure about this one. Ask yourself, what's the thing that's on your mind the most? And Rue is saying, I need to bed. So we're going to give him about 10 more seconds here, and then we're going to get to bed. Do you want to say goodnight to everybody, Rue? You want to do that? Let me stay here. You can see yourself. You can see yourself on camera right there. So Rue has just announced to me, and he does it. I'm wearing some bracelets on my arm, and he went and pecked. There he goes to do it again, gently on the bracelets to say, I need to go, Dad. So Rue, do you want to say goodnight? Well, I guess you have. So if everybody holds on, I'm going to put him in a soft kennel where I did just put food for Rue. And of course, he's looking around going, it's dark, getting dark, Daddy. And I am not a predatory bird. I am considered prey. I don't like labels, he says. But at night, we like to go up in the trees and hide until it gets light again. So, oh yes, he is a very proud macho rooster. All right, hold on 1 second here. Be right back. And it's just started raining again. We'll see how the wind goes. I want to dive into this with you. I'm going to see if the wind allows us to, or what it will mean as the rains have doubled back. But and let's see if I can get this out of the shadows. There, that's better. I want to dive into this with you. I think this is so, so important. I had on Don Miguel Ruiz Jr., one of my first shows. And he's the son of Don Miguel Ruiz, who wrote The Four Agreements and many other books, including The Actor, which is one of my all-time favorites. Don Miguel Ruiz Jr. says, you can domesticate your children or somebody else can. What does that mean? It means that we're all trained and indoctrinated by someone or something. And right now, we're trained and indoctrinated by this system, by those who have money, by those who put out advertisements, by those who sway the media, by those who control everything. And I am talking about a system of control. I'm like, let me at them. Here's the deal. You and I are spiritual beings, energetic beings, having an energetic experience in human form. You're an energetic being having an energetic experience in human form. You signed up, you came here during this time to help us make this greater grand shift. That's why you and I are here. Now, you and I are ascendant masters. That means we are the 8 billion souls out of, there's no number large enough for the infinitude of souls there are in the world. Or in this universe, let alone the multiverse. We are the lucky ones who got to come here at this time to help humanity to shift. Now, where there's light, there is dark. The two interact together, sort of like Coke and Pepsi, to help both in ascend. It's not a bad gig. It's not a bad deal. However, the darkness ain't playing by the rules. And it's making it harder for us to ascend. Now, I've got RJ Spina coming on the show on Thursday. Absolutely amazing show. And we both talk about the fact that this is just a slingshot pulling you back to help launch you to your greatness. So right now, there is this cloak of darkness over us, helping us launch into the light. It's time, though, to launch. Right now, we've got a failure to launch. Why aren't we launching? Because we've been programmed, because we've forgotten who we are, because we've been put in the darkness by ourselves. Because what we're thinking, what we're doing, how we're acting has all been put on us to where we don't remember who we are anymore. So we go around through the day worried about a financial crisis, worried about this country, worried about this thing, worried about that. And I'm not saying that these challenges aren't real, but the worry du jour has been planted on us by somebody else. Or we go and we're concerned about our family. It's a reasonable thing to be concerned about. But we turn on the news, we turn on social media, we turn on whatever. And all of a sudden we're worried about I don't know, something that on some level is trivial. And yet it becomes our biggest concern. Or it's a scandal, which takes us away from thinking about ourselves and thinking about our family. And instead we're thinking about that scandal. Everything becomes a thought worm. Everything takes us away from who and what we truly are. And everything that you read or you watch, unless you're hyper vigilant about it, everything you read, you watch, you ingest, takes you away from you, takes you away from your life, takes you away from your power. That's what the show is about tonight. It's about bringing you back. I just want to, wow. Bringing you back into your power. It's been taken away by well-meaning loved ones and not so well-meaning loved ones. It's been taken away by the tribe. It's been taken away by the indoctrination of generations gone by. Very few of our thoughts today are actual original thoughts. They're repackaged thoughts, because if they can keep you in fear, if the systems can keep you in fear, keep you thinking about something that you don't need to or don't want to think about. You're going out and all of a sudden you hear about a hot air balloon crash. And now you're thinking about a hot air balloon crash instead of what's most important. And what happens? And you go, well, this is important. I get it. These people are suffering. This terrible thing is taking place. I get it. But if you ain't bringing it home to here, then you become useless for everyone. It's why the concept oxygen mask on yourself first is so incredibly important. And the oxygen mask means, what are you focusing on? What are you taking in? If you want to empower yourself, then you get to control this rather than everyone and everything and every other media conglomerate and who knows what taking control of your mind. Why? Well, that's what they don't want you to know, and I want to talk about right now. It's called the 100% rule. No one wants you to know about this at the highest level because you would become, forgive me, mofo strong. The 100% rule. What in the world is the 100% rule? The 100% rule is the rule that says that unless you have 100% of your faculty, you are completely and totally controllable. And if you have 100% of your faculty, if you are using 100% of your resources focused on something with your mind, you will put yourself on a parallel track, on the right direction, in a simultaneous universe. Just as we've talked about the last few weeks, you will put yourself on a different universe and a different path for the or something better. You will manifest, and not like just the law of attraction, I want a better car bling, which is cool. Don't get me wrong. It's very cool. Make it an eco car. It's very cool. But no, you'll become powerful to where you are the creator. There's an expression, mind is creator. As above, so below. As here, so there. It's actually the greater mind. You will tap into an unstoppable, uncontrollable power if you have 100% of your resources. If you have this much to play with, and you bring it to here, versus a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there. And let me be honest, with our move and all of the challenges and the storm coming in and out and where are things packed, I did not. It's interesting that it's today for this talk. And this is a channel talk. I channel every single time I go onto YouTube. I have channeled beforehand. And then I'm having discussions with spirit as it's going along. Like I'm checking in right now going, oh my God, I've got so much energy. And they're like, run with it, boy. Oh, okay, I'll run with it. Am I mofo mad? Yes, I'm mofo mad. Why? Not because they're taking away our power. Why? Because we're taking away our own power. We're giving it away. We're saying, you're right. I should think about this thing. I should think about that thing. Even pay attention to the lyrics of the songs you listen to. They're all subliminal and not subliminal messages. I am weak. I'm only human. I couldn't help myself. I couldn't do it. Or there's songs where you're just thinking with your ding dong or the equivalent. You get what I'm saying? That's not where your mind is. You're an ascendant master. You're playing the game up here. But the words that are being pumped into you have it playing down there in the gutter. That isn't who and what you are. You're magnificent. You're great. You're incredible. You are so incredible. I heard there was a good song I heard earlier today. I think it's also a bumper sticker. Be the person your dog thinks you are, or your cat thinks you are, or maybe thinks you are, or your baby thinks you are. Be the person your dog thinks you are. Because the dog thinks you're God. And guess what? You are God. You are the ultimate creator. You are the most magnificent, beautiful, incredible, capable, powerful person in the history of histories. That's why you're here right now. That's why 8 billion of us have come together as one, locked arm in arm. But what the freak? Why are we at war with each other? Do you know how many elections people have voted that don't want war, and yet there's war? What is going on in the world? What's going on is a game of shell game. That's what it is. It's a shell game. Which, where do you want to place your concentration? Is it under here? Nope. Is it under here? Nope. Is it under? And if you're focused on the shell game, you ain't focused on being at home. And when you're focused on being at home and you bring 100% of your resources here, ooh, doggy. It doesn't matter if they're bullets or kryptonite or radon or whatever. When you're 100% here, you are completely and totally unstoppable, and you will change the world. Absolutely, positively. You will. Oh, and I'm hearing, if I lean forward, there, that's better. I've moved that to keep from being in the shadows. Because I can't help but lean forward right now because this is a very powerful topic tonight. What's known by leadership, what's known by corporate think tanks, what's known by politicians is simply this. They know you are the all-powerful creator of your destiny. They know you are the all-powerful creator for whatever is coming next on planet Earth. You create with your mind. All-powerful creator of your destiny. And they know if and only if, when and only when you focus on your desire with 100% of your resources. That's the key. So I love to answer questions at the end, and I channel when I answer questions, and I channel and answer questions in our School of Mystics as well. And one of the most common questions that I get asked is, am I capable of healing? And there is certainly an element of that that is out of our control, meaning there's part of your soul contract, and which we rarely fully understand while we're here. However, the majority of the time, yes, you can absolutely positively heal. And the question becomes how? You take a kitchen sink approach. You try this, you try that, you try the other thing, you try that, you try this again, you try it another time. In other words, you focus on that healing with 100% of your resources and nothing less. 100%. Think about it this way. You may meet someone special. Do you think, we'll see how it goes? No, you lean in 100%. If you wanted to have a child, do you go, well, maybe I'll have a child? No, you step forward 100%. When there's something you really want, you don't half go for it. You go for it with everything you've got. That's the missing piece here and now. That's why the earth is the way it is. The earth is the way it is because we have diluted our resources, and the resources are up here and the resources are in here. There's fighting, there's bickering, there's quarreling, not just out there, but even in our minds. Buy this, do that. You need this, worry about that. Put this on or you're going to smell horrific. Do this or you're going to look terrible. And you're going, what do I do with all of it? Congratulations, they've won. They've diffused your efforts and they've diffused your mind. If they can keep your mind scrambled, they can keep your mind divided. And like a house divided, they have won. Look at it right now. The reds versus the blues, the greens versus the unicorns. It doesn't matter. If they can keep a house divided, they've won. Last time I've checked, though, you couldn't go under a microscope and spot a red. You couldn't spot a blue. You couldn't even spot, well, I guess you could spot a black and blue. You understand what I'm saying? We are all one. Period. Done deal. End of story. We're all one. Yeah, but this human is, no, forget about it. You're not even human. I'm only human. No, you're energetic being having an energetic experience that came here to take a human disguise, to play a very heavy, a very lethal, a very strong, a very powerful 3D game to help us to raise to the 5th dimension, to help us raise beyond that, up even to the 9th dimension and beyond during this lifetime. And to help your kids do it, your kids' kids do it, and their kids do it. And your efforts have been diluted, my friend. Diluted? Yes, diluted and diluted. The system is set up to divide and conquer. The only conquering, though, the only conquering, I'm going to bring this back to love. The only conquering that gets to be done is out of love. It's taking back our power and taking back our love. Our diluted and diffused efforts leads to less love, leads to less kindness, leads to less caring, leads to less compassion for ourselves, for one another, and for the earth. If everybody had compassion for everybody else, there'd be no war. You'd say, my brother, come on over. Let me share my bread. Whatever I have is yours. Till the last speck of bread is left. And then hand in hand, you would find a way to till more flour, or till the soil to grind more flour. When there is that much love and compassion, war, violence, hatred, differences, none of it matters. It all goes away. We all become the human beingness, meaning the one human being of which you and I are a cell of one. And yes, a heads up, I'm going to be talking about Mama Earth more and more over the next few weeks. Why? She has a fever, and it's going to take a focused effort rather than a diffused effort to bring her fever down, to prevent the floods, to prevent the fires, to prevent the smoke, and the massive heat that's now choking the world while the rich get richer. And I'm not talking about the millionaires. I'm not even talking about the multimillionaires. It's good. It's great. And I've known billionaires. I know billionaires. There are those out there doing some tremendous good. I'm talking about those who control our minds, who wring every last bit of energy out of us to keep themselves in control and diffuse our efforts, even at the cost of our own planet, of our own spaceship, of our own one blue marble and blue dot, but bringing it back to power. You're the creator of your own destiny, and you are so much more powerful than you've ever, ever, ever imagined. But guess what? Even the school system is set up as a measure of control. It's set up since the beginning to talk about how there's something wrong with you. You're not good enough. You're not smart enough. You didn't get good enough grades. You're not towing the line enough. You've been taught since the beginning, whether it's school, whether it's church, whether it's temple, whether it's wherever, that there is something wrong with you, or that you simply don't have the power, the energy, or the ability to manifest. Get real, get serious. Stop being such a daydreamer. Oh my God. More wrong words were never made. Be a daydreamer. Focus on your dreams with 100% effort. How do you think Nikola Tesla did everything that he did in his lifetime? Until, yes, it was pulled away from him as well. But everything came from a focused effort of mind. Now, I'm not a law of attraction kind of guy, which is interesting. It works. It actually works quite powerfully. However, life today goes beyond the law of attraction. See, most of us, we want to manifest. And when we want to manifest, it still comes out of diffused efforts. Well, I want this, I want that, I want the other thing. In other words, chances are what you like, what you dislike, what you strive for, what you don't strive for, basically everything that you've been taught or trained, everything you've ever wanted or desired didn't come from you. It's crazy. So I've had, what was the count? I won't even go there, but I've owned some cool cars now as eco as I can. And one of them was a Porsche. Oh, it was so cool. And wasn't meant to be. Motor blew up soon after I got it. Got the motor rebuilt, got some other stuff rebuilt. The motor blew up again. Wasn't meant to have that car. It was meant, well, it's not true. I ended up, because it was all that was available at the time, I ended up with an automatic Porsche rather than a manual, which I wanted. And I'm like, well, what's the fun in an automatic Porsche? I think it was 2 weeks after I got that I had NDE number 1. And in coming back from that, the only way that I could get out to nature was with one leg. The car worked for the entire time that I was on crutches, and then it died. That was so cool. In fact, thank you, universe. I never fully thought about it that way. I had called it the Freedom Mobile, but thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. But why did I get the Porsche? Was it the Tom Cruise movie Risky Business and the Porsche, a very similar looking Porsche to what I had going off the dock and into the water? Probably. Was it the Porsche repair shop with a Porsche emblem and all the Porsches parked out front that I'd ride by on my bicycle every day? Probably. Was it everything that I saw, Porsche this, Porsche that, Porsche the other? Yeah, probably. But guess what? It's a fine piece of engineering, but it's really just a squashed down VW bug. And people can go, oh, well, at the end of the day, it still gets you from A to B. And it's okay to have love. It's okay to have passion. It's okay to want. It's okay not to want. However, we get to ask and challenge ourselves and say, where is this coming from? Why am I thinking this? And to free yourself of the wants and desires of the matrix so that you can come up with your own wants and desires. That's what this is about. That's what I've been teaching in the School of Matrix. Oh, that'd be interesting. The School of the Anti-Matrix this month, the School of Mystics this month. And you can see people in the chat who are what we call our mystics in training, all these beautiful souls who are in a School of Mystics. Now, I'll call it setting yourself free of the matrix. Setting yourself free of the matrix means getting clear of mind again, clear of mind, clear of your mind, rather than clear of their mind. It means putting your attention on what you desire rather than what others want. Now, this doesn't require necessarily meditation, but that can be super helpful. And it's something that we've been teaching in our School of Mystics, but it doesn't necessarily require that. And I'm still in the shadows here. Let's see if that's better. And Bhavik, let me know and you can chime in here. That's our producer. And I'm getting bit by all sorts of bugs, but let me know if this is better on the shadows. It doesn't. Excellent. It doesn't necessarily require meditation, though that's huge. It doesn't require things like automatic writing, but that can certainly help you rewire your mind to keep from a diffused mind. And I'm going to call the diffused mind the DM for short. But awareness itself goes a huge way. Awareness itself, I want to repeat that over and over again. Well, first off, let's put it this way. You are conscious awareness. You are conscious awareness. You are consciousness. You are the observer of your entire experience. And if you get that you're the observer of your entire experience, it changes everything. So years ago, I did a bike ride across the country. I think I mentioned it in my notes later on as well. 5,000 miles, 40 days solo, unsupported, people on the phone, but unsupported, as I rode across the country to help students and adults with learning disabilities and attention deficit disorder. And I can remember doing interviews on my cell phone or pulling into radio or TV stations or wherever and doing interviews. And they'd say, well, how was the ride today? And I said, well, we did great. And they go, wait a second, Mr. Sandler. I thought you said you were solo. And I go, well, we are solo. What do you mean? Well, there's the me on the bike. And then there's the me. This reminds me of Hannah Bear upstairs. There's the me cheering me on. That's the infinite observer. That's who and what you truly are. When you can be the you that's cheering you on, you are set free, free of the matrix, free of everybody else's thoughts, free of the delusions that they're giving you, free to think your own thoughts. That's conscious awareness. That's who and what you are. It means that you're here on a holodeck. You're on a holodeck. So there's the you that's living in this simulation. Topic we'll be talking more and more about coming up. There's you in this simulation. We'll call it the Earth School. And then there's the you above, or really everywhere around you, that is watching you down below and cheering you on. That's your true beingness. That's your true infinite divine self. That's your infinite awareness. That's your higher self. It's the you that's not subjected to or subjugated by anything. Again, they don't want you to know this because it sets you free. The trick is we lose perspective when we come here, or in essence, our perspective is used against us. And if you see me going itchy and stuff like this, I'm getting bit left and right by things. Maybe there's somebody out there with this machine going, ooh, sending little CNATs at me, cancel, clear, release. We lose perspective. When we come here, in essence, it's used against us. For immediately after coming to Earth, we're being taught and trained what to focus on, being taught and trained what to focus on and what to ignore. It begins early in the classroom, though it begins also with our elders and their elders and their elders as well. We're being trained to let go of what you know is right, being trained to let go of what you know is true, and being trained and to let go of who and what you truly are. Instead, you're trained to focus on what others want, what others think is important, what is important to others and not to you. But here's the thing. You came in fully programmed for your mission. Nobody has to tell you your mission. We have Hannah Bear upstairs, I believe, going to sleep right now. It's not our job to help her find her mission. It's our job to help her figure out how to safely navigate the world. And then between you and me, get the hell out of her way. She came in here fully powerful, fully capable, fully knowing of why she's here, of what she can do, of what she can achieve, of how she can mold this place and use this amazing body that she has to do whatever is her bidding. We all came in here that way. And then we were trained and entrained to forget. That's the big challenge, and that's a big no-no. What do you mean no-no? It means the no-no is that you're no longer free and no longer leading your own life. And worse, you're trained and entrained early on to forget who and what you truly are. You see, you came with it programmed in on your heart. It's why I'm always challenging the people in the School of Mystics, in any of my teaching that I'm doing. Find what's pulling on your heart and you go after it with everything you've got, because it didn't come from you and it didn't come from the tribe. Yeah, but Michael, you said you liked the Porsche. Okay, yeah, I like the Porsche. But if I went quiet and said, what's drawing me forward in life? It's not going to be, oh, I need to get a Model S or whatever it is, 924, 928, and 920 something, and who knows what. With the alloy wheels. No. Oh my God, I got some cool stuff to do. You learn how to follow the pull on your heart. That's what's most important. However, you're brainwashed into forgetting who and what you are, who and what you're capable of being, and who and what we are. You forget that we're all one. You forget that one person lives on one side of the border called Russia. Another person lives on the other side of the border called Ukraine. And one's got to go and kill the other. Well, let me let you in on a little secret. This Jewish boy, yeah, Jewish boy who went to Catholic school and Christian school and Navajo church. This Jewish boy, yeah, is half Ukrainian and half Russian Jew. It's not by accident. I was given all of these opposing pieces. Why? To realize it's all story. It's all story. You belong to this tribe. You belong to that tribe. Nobody likes people from this tribe. Well, this tribe going to get burned and destroyed. Well, this tribe in the Holocaust and this tribe over here. There is no tribe. There is no tribe. Am I a Jewish boy? Actually, I use that facetiously. I'm as I checked, I'm a human being. How about you? But we're not taught that. We're taught these people are right, these people are wrong. Kill these people in the name of God, and we'll kill those people because of their color. And kill these people just because we can. Heck, we were taught manifest destiny in geography. We were taught that we as good Americans tried to take over the whole continent. We went after the Mexicans. How do you call it? They went after the people of Mexico. We went after the people of Canada. And you're taught by the end of class to go, boo, we didn't get to take the whole thing over. We failed. We didn't kill all those people down below and call those people up above. It's brainwashing from the tribe. It's brainwashing from the tribe. Okay, I've got to move on because I'm getting a little bit too passionate about it. But that's actually still taking place today. The war is on. It's a war for our minds. It's a war to take our resources. And it's a war that keeps us from free thinking. What's most important isn't our limiting beliefs, isn't our feelings of being small, isn't our feelings of any of these things that have been programmed onto us to tell us they're less than. It's our diffused efforts. More than anything else in the world, what you and I get to do is let go of a jumbled mind. And I do realize the irony, because as my producer will swear to you, as I will swear to you, as I'm trying to get ready for this thing earlier this evening, did I have a jumbled mind, but not when I'm on the mic. I'm in my sweet spot. I'm 100% here, and I hope you are as well. We get to let go of the thoughts they want you to have. Let go of the thoughts they want you to have. You're the creator. You're all powerful, and you can quite literally, with your thoughts, change the world. So the question is, why hasn't somebody, because we had on Stephen Greer a month and a half ago now, why hasn't another Nikola Tesla stepped forward with 0-point energy? Why don't we have that? It's so important right now. Well, actually, we've had it time after time after time after time after time. But the inventor has been taught, well, you need to patent it and you need to hold on to it. And you need to focus on the money. You need to focus on that. And so the powers that be erase their invention or erase them off the planet. Why? To stay in power. So why do we stay disempowered? So that they can stay in power. It's all by design until now. Now, going back to that bike ride I did years ago, 5,000 miles, 40 days, go Forrest, go. That bike ride across the country was the easiest thing I've ever done. Easiest thing I've ever done. How is that possible? Well, I had swollen knees. I had a fever. I crashed. I broke part of the bike. I had body rash, fevers, chills, you name it. And yet it was the easiest thing I've ever done. Weather was terrible. Instead of having the prevailing tailwind, I had prevailing headwinds. It rained out of 30 of those 40 days. I even had snow in Wyoming. ran out of money, had to stop at my house and sell my prized possession, my motorcycle that came from, what was it? Evel Knievel's nephew. And on it went. And yet the ride was incredibly easy. In fact, I was interviewed. I came out of Truckee, California, or Truckee, Nevada. I guess it'd be Truckee, California. I was headed down into Reno, and I was interviewed in Reno, and I was interviewed by a journalist. It's very kind when he interviewed me. And then he wrote an article saying Michael Sandler is going to be one of the thousands who makes it down here across the West Coast and will never, ever, ever make it across the country. He's ill prepared. He can't handle it. He doesn't have the equipment. There's not a chance of him going to make it. And you know what? He was 100% right and 100% wrong. Why? Well, because I knew this secret. It's the reason we have our show. That's the reason we have everything in our lives. I knew this secret. I told him, if the bike breaks, if a leg breaks, if a leg falls off, I will take the pedal if I have to. I will grab it. I will grab it with my teeth and pedal with my neck if I have to, but I will make it across the country. That's a single-minded focus. That's 100% focus. That's not a diffused effort. And it worked. It actually became simple. It was super freaking hard. And yet, with 100% focus, it was simple. And that's my challenge for you today. Then we'll begin to wrap things up. We're going to answer some beautiful questions of yours, and then we'll get into a meditation. And I'm going to do my best not to go I'm going to stay the effort here with all these little bugs going after me right now. Here's my challenge for you today. It's a twofold challenge. First, start looking at what thoughts are being taken away from you, where they're being guided, or where there's a giant sleight of hand at play. Look for the shell game that's going on. What's the sleight of hand? It's like a magician or a magician trick. The magician will say, "Whoa, follow my hand," while he or she is doing something over here. Well, guess what? Watch any politician today. Watch any news today. Watch anything. And they're saying, watch this as your power is being taken away over here. That's how the control mechanism of the world works. It's how the matrix works, by smoke and mirror and sleight of hand. You can actually see it with any big or really important news story. You see something that's really big. You see something that's earth-changing, earth-shattering, that's going to help or save the earth or everyone. It's oh my God, it's the greatest thing in the world. You'll see this thing. And then guess what? All of a sudden, they'll show you, I don't know, I keep going back to, this is like 20, 30 years ago, Janet Jackson and a clothing failure. They'll take you to something completely off target. We're going to take you to some tragic event, but that tragic event happened to 3 people or 20 people, and we're talking about 8 billion people, and they'll take your attention away from what matters most. Look at any big, important news story, and you will see the sleight of hand in play. In fact, you become so aware that you'll see this story and you go, oh my God. And you can almost wait for it, watch with your watch, refresh. And all of a sudden there will be some crazy, improbable news story. And I'm not saying it's not going to appear like an important news story. It very well may, but it will be a story deliberately designed to distract you. And it may need to be a more powerful and more powerful and more powerful story. As the gig is up, we've got them on the run. That will distract you. But make no mistake about it, something will come up when the important stuff, when there's something where we go, we need all band together as one, all of a sudden we'll be given you gifted something to bring us apart, to have us fighting with each other. Hello. Some craziness done by somebody in power, somebody who wants to be in power, some craziness done somewhere to completely take our attention away from what's most important. So challenge number 1 is to look for this. Watch for the sleight of hand. Often it's right in front of us. It preys on our hopes. It preys on our fears. It preys on our loving, forgive us, human beings, or at least this modern world, loves to watch a giant fall, loves to watch an amazing person on their amazing A game trip and fall. We love to see that. It's entertainment. And we love a good train wreck. Watch for it. That's indoctrinated into us. Watch for it and don't buy it. So how do we not buy it? Wake up by asking, what am I thinking about? And why am I thinking about it? And there's some talk on the side here about, and somebody's mentioning, yes, it's the no-see-ums. The no-see-ums are getting me good. It's about love. Is what I'm thinking coming from a place of love? You could be aghast by something and come from a place of love. You could be horrified by something and come from a place of kindness and compassion, which at the end of the day is love. If those thoughts aren't loving thoughts, chances are they ain't coming from you. Where do I want my heart to focus? Well, the answer is in the question. And why didn't I say, well, ow, where do I want my mind to focus? Because your mind has been trained by the system, but let's go supra. Let's go bigger than heart, bigger than mind. Let's go to the giant mind. What's the ultimate force of the universe? Love. What's the ultimate frequency of the universe? Love. What's the ultimate everything? Love. Bring it back to love. Every time your mind focuses, diffuses its focus, bring it back to love. So I used to not watch any news. Truth be told, over the last few years, started at the beginning of COVID, I scan the news. I don't dive into the news. I don't focus on the news, but I want to know what everybody is thinking about so that I can help address it. However, I'll watch the news or read the headlines. Typically, you can get enough from the headlines because they're all playing you. So you read the headlines, well, be scared of this. The other one's saying, no, don't be scared of that. Be scared of this. Well, here's a solution to that. Well, if you thought this was a solution, then you've got to look deeper. And if you thought everything was going to be all right, well, that's not quite the story. And if you thought this person's in trouble, so you don't have to worry about this, well, then you better think again. It's a game. We're being played. However, I'll look and I'll scan. I won't doom scroll. I'll look and I'll scan. And at a certain point, I'll feel my heart tighten up. And what will I do? I'll Google search love. And we can Google search cute and fuzzy bunnies, cute kittens. Kittens, there's a reason. They're the most healing thing. Kittens, puppies, all this good stuff. Do that. Always bring it back to love. Always bring it back to love. Always bring it back to love. And then ask yourself. So the first is to become aware when you're pulled off. So important. And then bring it back by saying, where, Jedi Knight? Where, Obi-Wan? Where, Yoda? Where do I want my mind to focus? So important. Where do I want my mind to focus? Not where do they want my mind to focus? That's already going on. Where do I want my mind to focus? So we get to take back our power, not by diffusing our minds, but by bringing it back to where we want it to be. You are the creator. You're the creator of the most amazing, beautiful, infinite, incredible, over-the-top, wondrous experience. And so we get to focus 100% determination, 100% focus on what do I want? Actually, let me have you repeat that after me. What do I want? Not what did Michael want? What do you want? What do I want? I think I mentioned this in the School of Mystics last week. I was talking about this focus, and I used to be a bike racer, raced in Europe, did a whole bunch of things, some well, some not so well. And one of the things that I learned as a bicycle racer was a very simple fact. It's kind of a law of the universe. What you focus on is what you bring about. So in a bicycle race, you go around that corner and that person crashes in front of you. Well, guess what? Do not focus on the person crashing in front of you. Do not look at the person crashing in front of you. Do not even know that person is crashing in front of you. Instead, focus 100%. Where do I want to go? That's it. Everything. Where do I want to go? I was supposed to go to a national championships. A lot of boo-boos in my life, particularly in my early life. Supposed to go to a national championships in track cycling in college. And I think it was 1 week till the big race. And we had this race one evening in Colorado Springs at the Velodrome by the Olympic Training Center, banked oval. And they had to put on the race late because of tornado warnings. Should have gone home and gone to sleep. I'm in the last race of the night and coming into the final sprint. I'm not sure if I would win the race if I won the sprint or if I was just going to do very well, because it was the person who has accumulated the most points throughout the race based on their finishing position through a bunch of sprints wins. Coming into the final sprint, there's two guys in front of me. They're duking it out side by side. And one crashes into the other. And what did I do? Apparently, I focused right on him, used him as a ramp, and launched myself right into a reconstructive surgery for my left elbow, or right elbow. Which was it? Right elbow. That's right. I was taking a class on relativity and had to try to do it in my head. 100% focus where you want to go, not where you do not want to go. You'll make it through. I'll make it through. Humanity will make it through. It means we can no longer have diffused efforts. We can no longer have a diffused mind. We can no longer play the game they want us to play of focusing on what somebody else wants us to focus on. Yes, it helps in the beginning of the day. Write down, make an index card, put it on your phone as something that pops up continuously. Write down what is the most important thing you want to focus on today. Come back to it again and again and again. You can be on a mission. You can be passionate about it. You can want to change this planet. You can want to save this planet. You can want to save yourself. You can want to save your kids. Write it down and come back to it and come back to it again and again and again. Come back to it with everything you've got. Ask yourself, what do I want? What's most important? What do I want more than anything in the world? And that's where you get to focus on 100% heart, soul, mind, body, 100% of your beingness. Now, it doesn't mean quitting your day job, or at least not right now, or anything of the sort. But what it means is reigniting a fire inside of you. This fire is what the world, what the matrix, what the powers that be have all but canceled out. It's just a smoldering ember, chances are right now. But you're here, which means there is an inner flame inside of you. The world is trying to reduce your inner flame to a smoldering ember. However, it is this fire that you will bring back that brings you into your power by focusing on it with everything you've got. Breathe light into that ember. Breathe more light into that ember. Breathe more light into that ember and into your heart. Bring yourself to that place of that crazy, brilliant inner flame, and you will manifest something so much greater, so much more powerful, so much more amazing than you ever imagined for your highest good, the highest good of all, or something even better, beyond the noise, beyond the diffused effort, beyond anything. You are the creator. You're the creator. You are the creator of your destiny. And you're capable of such wonders, such joy, and literally of changing the planet and every life on this planet. But first, you and I, need to set you free. That's what we're doing. That's every show I'm doing right now is about setting you free. It all begins with one choice. A choice to become aware, a choice to recognize you're being played. How am I being played? Well, you ever looked at the fashion industry? I worked in the fashion industry. Guilty, lovingly is charged. And I still love a good looking piece of clothes. But you're taught what to like this season, what to not to like the next season, what to throw away this year, what to hold on to the next. You're being played. Step back into your power. And that doesn't mean you can't like amazing looking things. Life is about being living art. Go for it with everything you've got, but step back into your power with everything you've got. And yes, I will say a brilliant, shameless plug. Join the School of Mystics. Join the School of Mystics to step back into your power, to become so awake and so aware and help really change and align yourself in the inside, becoming a truly aligned crystalline structure. And now help everyone around you become a truly aligned crystalline structure. For you are a mystic. You are an ascendant master. You are God. You are the divine, not the God. You are a part of God. You are the divine. You are the creator. You are incredible greatness. You are that is. You are the everything. We just have to unteach you from the matrix and give you back your original tools. When you have your original tools, you can rock this world or something even better. And yes, for your highest good and the highest good of all. Woohoo. All right, I'm going to take a sip of water. I'm going to open it up to some beautiful, beautiful questions here. And what's nice is that there are all these storms coming in and it's gone quiet. I don't even see a flash of lightning behind us, which means we have threaded the needle. We are supported by the universe and we are being taken care of tonight on an even higher level. And how does it get any better than this? And oh my gosh, angels, guides, can you put me in a bubble of love and light and keep these chiggers off, ow, off of me tonight? Wow. Oh, well. Good news is they won't leave a mark. They're getting what they need. Apparently, I'm getting what I need too. Okay. From Linda Ellis. Do you believe as we raise our frequency and release with intent into our world, this will change our atmosphere? Yeah. So let me take that to an even higher level. So I love studying the climate. I do not pretend to be an expert on any way, shape, or form. I study it. I learn about it. I gawk at what's going on or go gasp at what's going on a lot of the time. But I'm always asking myself, what can we do? And no matter where you fall on something that's become politicized, it doesn't make sense because we're all on this one ball, and this one ball has a fever. Something's going on. It doesn't matter where it started. Something's going on. And it's funny that I even have to say that because we're all living on this one beautiful earth. And raising our frequency and shifting on the inside can make a massive power shift on this earth. That is huge. And in that power shift, chances are we will find the 0 point energy that we need, or that already exists, but we'll see it again, that we need in order to make massive shifts in a hurry for this earth, because we have entered, according to scientists, a new time period. Anthropocene, I believe, is the time. It means the 6th great extinction. And of which we could certainly be one of them. But if we have these technologies at hand, we can reverse all of this. And so it first starts with an inner technology of alignment, of frequency, of vibrating at the highest level, which is 100% focus in here. And that does shift our outer world. Now, Linda, at the same time, I believe we get to link arms hand in hand as one and ask for what we want, not what we do not want. So important. Ask for what you want, not what you do not want. And how do we link arms hand in hand? We come together as one. We come together. I have a t-shirt I love to wear. It shows a bear. It says hug across it. We come together in giant bear hugs, loving up one another and listening. We get to listen and communicate and speak with everyone. That's what's most important. We get to live and speak with everyone. So, do we step forward to make a difference? Yes. Do we do the work on the inside as well? Yes. If you've seen the number 2222 or 222 or any repeating digits of twos, it's the number coming up the most for most people right now. Why? It's a number that means discernment, important to make key decisions, and to step forward hand in hand. 2, not 1. This is not the time period of the lone wolf. This is not the time for the meditator off in the cave. This is the time to meditate and step forward, to get centered and do something. It's a time for us to all take action, not waiting for father knows best or mother knows best or whatever we want to call the top of the pyramid to know best to tell us what to do, which is interesting. because there are more and more dictatorships. There's more and more giving away our power now than ever in modern times, anyway, as people are giving up, as people are being brainwashed, as people are being manipulated. Instead, we get to take a bottom-up approach, not an approach of grabbing guns, the reverse of grabbing, I guess, right to bear arms. Here's the right to bear arms you get to do. Arms locked, hand in hand, stepping forward in love. That's what we get to do, Linda. Is it go time? Absolutely. If you feel called to something, do you take action on it? Absolutely. Do you fight against anything or anyone? Absolutely not. Love thy enemy as thyself. Actually, that's a little bit dangerous because we've been taught not to love ourselves. Love the enemy, even greater than ourselves. What you damn damns you back. There is no enemy. There is only different versions of yourself, and we are all in this together. Brilliant question, Linda. Denise, we all have choices to make. Don't you think focusing on the positive is harder for them to use your mind? Don't you think focusing on the positive, it is harder for them to use your mind? Oh, absolutely. So, and we're not talking about the Pollyannish, which is a misused term, but we're not talking about, don't worry, be happy here. We're talking about if you focus on what you truly desire, we'll call that the positive. They can't pull you off task no matter what. You become, well, like a kid who's had the candy taken away from them. You become like a pit bull for that. You want it more than anything else. You stay focused on what is your desire with everything you've got. And yes, a positive desire is incredibly powerful. And you can't have that taken away from you. The trick is we say, well, this is what I want. Well, and then you get told, well, you can't have it here and you can't have it there. And you should want this and you should want the other thing. And the next thing that you know is you've diffused your efforts. So it's not just focusing on the positive. It's focusing on it with everything you've got. Brilliant, brilliant question, Denise. From Liebegang. Hi, Liebegang. Why is it so hard to feel the presence of angels even when you invite them wholeheartedly, but it feels they are not coming even when you ask for signs? Rather than focus, Liebegang, this is a brilliant question having to do with the ego and having to do with the ego putting up a wall, putting up a block. It's your mind and ego as one saying, not happening, and putting up this giant wall to protect you from becoming an even better version of yourself. So rather than trying to feel the presence, send them love. Instead of trying to be a receiver, be a transmitter. See how much love you can send out to your angels. See how much love you can send out to your guys. Aren't they supposed to be filling me up with love? Well, guess what? It's the ultimate renewable resource. Think of it as a boomerang. The more you send out, the more that's come back. But if you play with this, Liebegang, all of a sudden you're going to feel your heart going and cracking wide, wide open, and you won't be able to. Boy, that's like a double, triple negative. There is no way you won't feel them after you do that. And yes, give it time. Rose Christopher, how do I know what I'm doing is good enough? Do some relationships dissolve for the greater good? I feel lately that my own relationship with my husband is being fractured over awakening and the unawake. So, Rose, all you can do, you can't change your husband. Don't even try. And I know every wife out there has tried to change their husband. And Jessica, well, I call Pookie, has actually succeeded with me a lot of times. However, I would never try to do that or could not recommend trying to do that. What I recommend, Rose, is just be the best version of yourself that you can be today, now, as you're doing in this moment. Let you in on a little secret. There is no doing enough that is enough. That's something we've been taught by the tribe. Because if we understood that, I think there's some, oh my gosh, I can't even remember the name of the flowers behind me. That's what kind of an evening it is. Flowers don't try to be enough. Plants don't try to be enough. A dog or kitty doesn't try to be enough. A baby doesn't try to be enough. They just are. You just are, Rose. Actually, you have the most beautiful name, Rose. There we go. A rose does not try to be enough. A rose does not try to, or it does not ask itself, is what I'm doing good enough? A rose just is, and the rose is perfect, as Shakespeare would say, by any other name. So that's what you get to do, is be the Rose with everything that you've got without judgment. Do some relationships dissolve for the greater good? At a certain point, all relationships will either come back up to matching or will blow apart. Your job, Rose, to me, is not to blow it apart. And I know there's a decision you feel has already been made, but your job is not to blow it apart, but is simply to be your best version of yourself and send your husband as much love as you can, because your husband is freaked out, Rose. Your husband is completely freaked out by you being so different, so weird, so alien. Yes, I'm using that word in particular. So alien to him, it scares him. Now, will he change and come along for the ride? Who knows? Probably not. Maybe will. But if you focus on your heart, focus on what you need to do, and send him love, some sort, positive, well, there is no negative, to bring you together or to bring you apart and set yourselves free. Something special will come of it. 100% of your efforts, Rose. Now, and I always say this about relationships, with the exception of abuse or addiction. Other than that, I say you focus on healing your heart and you focus on sending love with everything that you've got, and magic will happen. Now, there's a beautiful prayer that I like. I mentioned it many, many weeks, so I'll just mention it very briefly here. It helps heal so many relationships. It's Ho'oponopono. It's an ancient Hawaiian healing prayer. I want you to say the prayer for yourself, not for your husband, but I want you to drop him first into your heart. I like imagining the other person is a golden coin. They come in through the pineal gland, down, 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 and drop down. Like Plinko, is it? Or Pinko? Plinko. Pinko would be something else. They drop down into your heart. And then I want you to repeat these 4 lines over and over and over again before you go to sleep. And I like to do it a total of 108 times. It's a fun Buddhist number, which would mean 27 times. But do it as few times or as many as you'd like. I love you. Please forgive me. I am sorry. Thank you. I love you. Please forgive me. I am sorry. Thank you. I love you. Please forgive me. I am sorry. Thank you. You're not saying, Rose, you're not saying, I love you to your husband. You're not saying, please forgive me to your husband. You're not saying, I'm sorry to your husband. You're not saying, thank you to your husband. These are all to and for you. But here's the thing, Rose. On many levels, the two of you being is so completely and totally intertwined, you are one. And as you heal your own heart, it will begin to heal his heart. And that's what he needs more than anything. Because the fact that he is quote unquote unawake means he's got this giant heart wall up and it's just way too scary. And that may come across as fighting. They may come across as abusive words. I hope not, but it may come across as something that is defending a position out of fear. And Ho'oponopono is the love that exists on the other side of that fear. I love you. Please forgive me. I am sorry. Thank you. Soul puppy. Is it possible to have such strong energy that it causes others, awake or not awake, to physically move away from you? Oh, absolutely. We're all energetic beings having an energetic experience, and we do get to watch our energy. Certainly, we get to watch our energy. I have had a challenge with Jessica, and if she's listening to this, she's going, oh, heck yeah, where I can overblast the house if I'm not careful. And sometimes, even if I am careful, I could overblast the house. And Jessica goes, well, why did you go downstairs? Well, because my energy is like today. We get to all watch our energy and do what we can to bring it back to center and to say, am I vibrating with the best, positive, goodest? We'll go with that non-English, nonsensical word, the goodest energy possible. What a screwbally language English is. If English isn't your first language, then you understand. But we get to watch our energy. And if we get spun, guilty as charged, what can I do not to gift others with that energy as well? Joan B. Does Michael remember what the guide said during channeling after he is done channeling? No. Joan, I am bathed and awash in the words. So it is constantly changing me, molding me, shifting me, evolving me, if that's a word. And I hope that I am more and more like Paul Selig, not meaning a channel like he is, but Paul started out real challenged on his journey. I hope I can say that. I love him dearly. And he is this magnificent master. He is such a master now because of the words that he has been bathed in and that he's been washed in. And I'm as human as, well, human is great, but I'm as human as the rest of us. And I hope that being awash in these words, I am learning and I am growing and I am expanding and I am more heart open through this whole process as well. So, Joan, I will finish this here tonight. Here's how it goes down. Or even this morning. So I channeled this morning and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's great. That's great. What we'll talk about. Yeah. That's good. And I finished my channeling and I've written it all down and I close the book. Later in the day, I get to write a newsletter that says, hey, tonight's event is coming up. And I'm sure somebody on my team, or maybe it was Jessica, said, so what are you talking about tonight? Well, you said it was a great talk. Can you tell me what it's about? Freedom, stepping back in your, I don't remember. There's power. It's empowering. It's the most empowering talk, but I have no idea what it's about. And so I get to reread it. And then I talk with you here, Joan. And because this is a channel of co-creation, and I'm not the kind of channel who goes, what I'm hearing is, it's just not how I work. But I'll get done with this. And Jessica will go, how did it go? And I'll go, great. And she'll go, what did you talk about? Crickets, Joan. I'm just not going to know. But I do know this, that I'm fully present with you here and now. I'm fully present helping you to heal and get to heal your heart. That's what I'm fully present with. And then later on, I get to replay the tape. The brilliant and fun question, Joan. Thank you. From Doreen. I had a dream trying to get ready to move. My crossed over Nana was in it, and your daughter was in it, playing in a large, dirty puddle. I was happy and laughing. What do you think it means? I have been thinking about moving. Let's read that one more time. I had a dream trying to get ready to move. Okay. My crossed over Nana was in it, and your daughter was playing in a oh, geez. Okay, that's very clear. The move on a conscious level, the move does not seem like it's going to be easy. The move seems like it's going to be dirty, like it's going to be difficult. It's going to be challenged. And your Nana is here to let you know that it's okay. And Hana Bear is here to let you know that no mud, no lotus. You are going to get dirty. You get to play in that water. You get to play in that mud, but something special is going to come for it. And so to go for it with all of your heart. And your Nana is going to help you across. And Hana Bear spirit, or the spirit of the universe, whatever you want to call this mighty force of love, is going to help you with laughter, with play, with joy as you step through the mud to the other side, Doreen. Go for it, go for it, go for it. Diana. So Diana, this is an interesting topic that I am going to have, and I've been debating when to do it, and I'm going to go quiet. It might just be right away. I have not seen The Sound of Freedom, which is about sex trafficking of women, children happening all over the world. And I'm going to get into that more in a minute. But Carolyn Corey has just done a documentary on this as well. And I know she would love to come back on the show about that. And we get to do that show, Diane. We'll make that show happen here in the next few months, if not sooner. So are we just to send love and light and hope for the best? No, Diane. That's the 222 I was mentioning earlier. I never say, just focus on the love, just focus on the energy. No, Diane, it's a two-step dance. You get right in here with everything that you've got. You get to a place of love. And I believe it was the Dalai Lama who said that his monks, when China took over Tibet, that his monks were afraid for their lives. And he said, well, what do you mean, afraid for your lives? They were afraid of getting angry with the Chinese. That to them meant their lives, because to get angry, to come to a place of enmity, to come to a place of anger, to come from a place of hatred, is the antithesis of everything that they stood for. So when we are talking about getting 100% here, we're not talking about righteous indignation. We're not talking about righteous anger. We're not talking about operating anything but from a place of power, which is a place of love, is a place of kindness, is a place of compassion. You get true in here. And then you step forward, Diane, with everything you've got, however you are called, not to fight against anyone, but to fight. I can't use another word, to champion, a better word, to champion for the freedom of these women, for the freedom of these children. I was aghast just a day or two ago, and everything chases me down, whether I look at it or not. A picture of, I think it was Uganda, of this giant mine with thousands and thousands and thousands of kids, slave labor, who were mining, and it was told for our electric vehicles. Craziness. We get to step forward, Diane. We step forward. If you feel called, you step forward with everything you've got. Oh, and this brings us right to the next question from Oli or Ole. How do I know my mission? I reached out to Spirit, get nothing. Help. Okay. Don't be desperate. Do not be desperate. I want you, instead of going help, to go help. I don't know what my mission is. I don't know what my mission is. I don't know what my mission is. Why? Because that reduces the walls. Reduces the walls. Once the walls are reduced, it will find you. It won't feel like a mission. It will feel like a pull on your heart. So I'm good on the mic. That might even be great on the mic. Really great on the mic. It was 8.5 years ago when we were just, actually 8.5 years ago, we weren't even thinking of starting Inspire Nation yet. I had just done, and Jessica had just done a mindful running program, a program of mindfulness and movement. And at the end of making this online program, we interviewed, it was supposed to be 3 interviews to help market this program. And the 3 interviews became 6, became 9, became 12, became 20, became 30, became 42 or 43 interviews because I was having too much fun on the mic. Then we lost our home, we lost our health, we lost our finances, we lost everything. We got catapulted off of where we were living, Maui at the time. And I won't even go into the whole story of living in Jessica's childhood bedroom and on it goes. However, when I asked Universe, what do I get to do? What I heard was, what brings you the most joy? And if I was honest about it, it was being on the mic. I didn't know how, I didn't know why, but it was pulling on my heart. It chased me down because I let it. And I had nothing else to do but listen at this point. So, Oli, do not worry about the message or don't worry about your mission. It will chase you down. Just do your best to give it the space and give it the time. Sandra, we're on the same page with the question. How do you find your mission? It's about the pull and tug on your heart that you haven't given yourself permission to discover. Going back to this whole thing about what they don't want you to know. We have been taught and trained and entrained since the beginning to listen to anything but our hearts. It's by design. We have been all by design, been pulled off of our mission, been disempowered so that we don't remember what we're here to do. So that's where we get to play first, is getting back in alignment with ourselves and then listening and trusting ourselves. It may be trusting ourselves to say, do I want can A or can B? And starting with the tiniest little decisions and feeling into our heart. Actually, that's something Jessica and I used to do in this, if you ever get to Maui, this tiny little, amazing little grocery store, really a vortex called Manas. And we would go into this little vortex called Manas, this earthy, crunchy nature store. And we would put one can to our heart and feel it, or to our belly. It works just as well. Another can to the heart and feel it, and then pull it away. And you would know, oh, wait, I want this one. And then you would put 2 foods there. Oh, I want this one. And then you start playing it with bigger and bigger decisions. I want this, I want that, until we really start to get a clear indication inside of ourselves. And knowing a trust, something that was taken away from us early on. We were taught not to trust ourselves, that Father knows best, that teacher knows best, that anybody knows best, but we can't possibly know best. That's hogwash. Do know best. And we get to relearn and rediscover that we do know best. Take a few more questions, then we'll go into a meditation. What happens if nothing is pulling in your heart? If all of your registering is kind of just being tired and all the pulling on your heart is just wanting peace? Devin, lean into the peace. Give yourself a break. Allow yourself to take a pause. Now, I would certainly, as taking a break, I would go to nature. I would get a blue mind. I would look at the water. I would look at the sky, the clouds, lean back on a tree, take time in a park, take time on the earth. And if there's something that's fun to do it. Don't say, well, when or if only I could. No, just do it. Do those little tugs on your heart. Do those little things that bring you joy, and then chip away at it from there. Devin, I would also look at whether it's a practice from emotion code, which is the clearing we do in the School of Mystics. In fact, this Wednesday School of Mystics is a heavy duty group clearing, and I can let people type in the chat, and there's some people who know manas. Yay. Come to our clearing. That can help get you light. Throw the kitchen sink at all of the walls that are up there. So many beautiful techniques, emotion code, EFT tapping, all of these things can help you chip away at these walls. But Devin, this is the one time that I recommend going after it with everything you've got and not going after it with everything you've got. Meaning 100% clear that you would like to be out of the cycle of fatigue. You would like to find more joy. But don't chase it hard. Nothing I said tonight was about fighting. Nothing was about you must go up the mountain. Nothing was about exhausting yourself, martyring yourself, anything of the sort. That's not done out of love. That's never done out of love. Love is about being kind, being gentle, and being easy on yourself. Easy even as you guide yourself forward through here. From Mary, and I'm seeing how many more questions. Oh, Colleen, thank you for your kind donation. How does it get any better than this? All right, let's see if I can take these last 5 questions. And I'm going to whip through them as fast as I can. Michael, what can a person do today to affect positive change to raise the collective energy toward greater heart, active love, and light? Are there any specific actions or thoughts that help? That is a massive question that really goes more into School of Mystics and beyond. So one thing that you can do right now, talk, listen, communicate. There. Sounds like 3 things. No. It means if we can all start to listen to other people, because we are a walking, talking collective wound. That's what we are. And we are the wound of the leaders, clearly, but we are our tribe's wound, and we're our own wound. But if we can start to communicate with each other, we can come to common ground. If we can come to common ground, we can make changes. Right now, we're scared to make changes. Well, we're scared to talk. It's the craziest thing. I apologize when I want to talk about the weather. What, didn't that used to be the easiest thing in the world to talk about? How warm is it there? What's the weather like there? Used to be the easiest thing in the world. Now you can be accused of seeing somebody who's woke or not woke. As somebody who's a red, as somebody who's a blue, as somebody who believes in warming, as somebody who believes it's this, or as a believer, as a denier. That we're just talking about the weather, man. We get to talk more, and we get to listen more. But don't just listen here. Listen here. Listen here. In fact, those people who disagree with you the most, listen here. That's the biggest change. Now, every single one of us is going to have a different pull. It's going to have a different calling. That's great. Well, there'll be some people that'll be in a camp for a climate calling. Some people will be in a camp for sex trafficking and child slave labor. And I mean, some horrific, very serious things, all of which are important. But you focus on whichever pulls on your heart, because that's a gift that didn't come from you this lifetime. It certainly came from your higher self, and it came from the other side, but it didn't come from your conscious mind. So you focus and respect that gift. And Mary, that will be different from you than it is from another Mary, than it is from a John, than it is from a, God, such stereotypical names, but Michael. How many Michaels are there in the world? But you get what I'm saying, Mary. That's where I want you to focus. And let's go to Ms. Patty. Is our mission right now to stay focused on keeping our energy high for the good of the collective? Energy high, Ms. Patty, it makes you feel that you have to work for something. I've got to hold the stone up like Sisyphus or we're all going to be crushed. That's not what we need right now. It's about keeping our own energy pure, keeping our own energy aligned, keeping our own energy in a more loving, less diffused, less given away space. If we do that, so your vibration is naturally at the highest level. Your energy, Miss Patty, is ah. It's a symphony going, ah, it's the most beautiful sound in the world. Except that all of a sudden somebody's taken out this instrument, ah, and they've taken out this instrument, and they've taken out this other instrument, and then they've taken it. So we get you back here 100% focused and aligned on the inside, and your energy will naturally go up. You don't have to force it. You don't have to fight it. So Colleen, what is gang stalking about? As little as I understand it, because I haven't focused on that, Colleen. Geez. The best way to describe it is it is a tool used by those in power that says this: the largest nail gets hammered down. Anybody outside of the norm, anybody outside of the threat, anybody that's making waves, anybody that is going to challenge the established quo, let's get a group of people together that think they are doing the right thing and have them go after this individual or individuals. And this gets into this whole idea of divide and conquer, that if the powers that can be can get us in fighting, you know, it used to be in the old days, it wasn't gang stalking. It was what the Crips versus Bloods, the Reds versus the Blues. Was it the Reds and Blues? You know, on the streets of LA. If you can get people fighting against each other, then we stay in power. That's ultimately what this is about. But also, Colleen, it is also expressing the collective wound and pain that we are all experiencing right now. I am not making light of this. We all have wounds being brought to the surface to be healed right now. We are all walking, talking traumas, and our traumas get to be healed. Even or especially among those that we would label as the most horrific. They're so terrible, we can't even call them human animals. Ain't no such thing. Ain't no such thing. Okay, I'm going to say something completely sacrilege. It doesn't matter if you're a Manson. It doesn't matter. Good Lord, can I actually say it? If you're a, this means I'm having an argument right now. It doesn't matter if you're a Hitler. That which you judge, judges you back. That which you damn, damns you back. These aren't just statements. They're reality. Because we're all just energy. We're all energy playing an energetic role in human disguise. Everybody is playing a role for the betterment of humanity. Now, we don't have to accept things. We don't have to say, okay, you're saying Hitler was an energetic being, then we just accept that bullshit. No, I'm not saying you accept it. I'm not saying you do a dance with it. I'm not saying you don't stand hand in hand all together as one and out of love say, we're not going to take this anymore. I don't say you don't go hand in hand and protect those you love. Not at all. But the hand is no longer about this. The hand is one arm locked with the other. That's what it's about. Now, I can't say that I know gang stalking at all, but I can say that I had the schnot kicked out of me day after day after day after day after day in school. And I've actually Googled my school system just a couple of days ago, and I found out that that same kind of abuse is taking place in my school to this day. It's craziness. And first off, it gets to stop. But secondly, it's still all about love. And those who are perpetrating those crimes are needing love more than anyone else. Nothing has ever been solved like a war for peace. Nothing has ever been solved with retribution, ever been solved with punishment. Nothing has ever been solved with an eye for an eye. On the other hand, just about everything out there can be solved with love. So, Colleen, we can literally focus on those who are committing these atrocities. And I'm labeling the act as the atrocity, not the person as the atrocity. And we can send them love. The perpetrators, send them love with everything we've got. Couple last questions here. From Ari. I have a hard time with love. I contract with love. It doesn't dwell comfortable to feel love. Am I broken? Ari, you're not broken at all. You've been wounded. You've been wounded badly. So what we need to do is throw the kitchen sink at healing the wounds, healing the traumas. Judith Richards has the most amazing healing technique. Can't recommend that enough. Emotion code, Dr. Bradley Nelson, can't recommend that enough. EFT, another very, very powerful one that has been statistically proven at the NIH through studies to be effective at healing wounds and traumas. Ari, we get to play with your wounds and traumas. We get to do a dance with your wounds and traumas. We get to heal your wounds and traumas. Are you permanently broken? No. Are you fixable? Is there anything wrong with you? First off, there's nothing wrong with you. Is it all steering, all guidance? Yes. Do you need to feel the love? Michael, you're saying feel the love. I don't feel the love. Great. If you don't feel the love, that's a marker. That's a clue. That's an indication of a direction you get to go, and bring 100% focus and effort on exactly that. Last two questions. Janice, it seems there's a lot of chatter of psychic messages coming through my waves when I am quiet and painting, when I feel productive and aligned. What's up? Well, Janice, the veil is thinner now than ever. It's the best way to put it. There is more and more information coming out now than more than ever. There's also there is so much energy out there now. Almost all of it good, some of it challenging, the darkness and the light, kind of duking it out. Hopefully not so much like that. But there's a lot of chatter, Janice, which is why we get to bring it back here. But it is so easy, for instance, when you're quiet and painting, it is so easy to hear from the other side. And now more than ever, it's because this is not a time where you need to focus on a priest, you need to focus on a rabbi, you need to focus on a shaman, you need to focus on anything in order to hear from the other side. The other side is just waiting for you to pause, to breathe, to make space, and then to speak to you, Janice. And that's the beauty of this time more than anything else. Mary, ooh, I was thinking about what Christ said about having the faith of a mustard seed. Ooh. Obviously, it does not take much to make a change or difference. So why do we make it so hard? That's a brilliant question, Mary. And if you think about it, did the mustard seed have to have much faith in order to grow? No, it was simply a mustard seed. And that's ultimately, Mary, that's the whole point of this talk tonight, is to be the mustard seed again. The trick is we're mustard seeds. We're told you better be a mighty oak or you're nothing. Or all you are is a mustard seed and you can't make a difference. Well, guess what? My guess is if you planted a whole bunch of mustard seeds by a cement foundation, you would crack that foundation in two. And you would provide food for so many. It's all about coming back to the perspective of you, without the label, without the judgment, without the anything that has been told to you as to who and what you are, or who and what you get to think about. Can you imagine if the mustard seed followed the news? I was thinking about, well, I'm not of this and I'm not of that, and I have to do this and I have to do that. And somewhere mustard seeds are drowning and somewhere mustard seeds are on fire. And I'm not saying these aren't important issues. But if the mustard seed was so diffused efforts, then what energy does the mustard seed have left to grow? That's where we want to put you, is back in the, I can't help it, Mary, back in the mustard seed, back in the power that every mustard seed had and that you have too. So I'm going to drink some water and we are going to go into a beautiful short mustard seed meditation. Oh, Mary, I love you. I love everybody. I love you guys so much. This has been beautiful. And thank you for hanging in me, because hanging in there with me. Look at this. I look blue here. We started with some strong energy, didn't we? I think we needed that. What I'd like you to do is close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath. In through the nose, down to the belly, and out through the nose. In and out. In and out. One more time. In and out. As you continue to breathe in and out, I want you to ask yourself one simple question. Who am I? But then let's add to this question. Who am I if I'm not my job? Who am I if I'm not my degree? Who am I if I'm not my family? Who am I if I'm not my hobby? Who am I if I'm not my likes, my dislikes? If I'm not my passions? If I'm not my angers? And if I'm not any of the opinions that I have on anything or everything? Who am I if I'm not my dogma or my ism? Who am I if I'm not my tribe, my color, or my creed? Who am I if I'm just plain energy? Let's have you sit with that one for just a minute. Who am I? I'm just plain energy. Of course, just plain energy are the atoms, the dark matter, the light matter, the sun, the stars, the quasars, the galaxies. In fact, just plain energy is the whole universe, the multiverses, the whole ball of wax. For it's all just plain energy. In fact, if you look into your heart, you look briefly first, all of a sudden see this double helix spiral DNA at the center of your heart. Then watch it morph, watch it transform until it is the double helix spiral bands of a galaxy, of the Milky Way itself, spinning and circulating at the very center of your beingness. In fact, you take another look and it's the most amazing, majestic spiral upwards ever taken as a photo from the Hubble telescope, from the James Webb telescope. It is this spiral of light and of starlight and stardust going up and up, up to the heavens and beyond. In each and every cell of your beingness, in each and every molecule, in each and every atom of your beingness, is this galaxy spiraling up to the heavens and beyond. It is who and what you're made of. It is who and what you are. You aren't just stardust. You have the whole universe inside of you. And with that universe comes power. Power and responsibility. Not the responsibility of you must do this or you must do that. No. It goes far, far, far beyond that. This is the power and responsibility that says, you are you. You are mighty. and coming back into knowing who and what you are. You roar just by being you. You roar just by having your opinions. You roar just by coming from a place of love. You roar just by following the pull and tug of your heart. You roar just by remembering you are the galaxies, you are the universe, you are the multiverse, and you are a part of and have inside of you the everything. That is the power of who and what you are. And knowing this power, you will never let anyone or anything take you away from it. You will never allow anything or everything to diffuse your power. You will never allow anything or everything to convince you you are anything less than the perfect, permanent, pure creator and creation that you are. You'll never let anyone convince you you're small. You will never let anyone convince you you're broken, you're powerless, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't create, you can't be a part of the solution. You aren't the solution. For that is wrong, plain wrong. You are everything. You are the solution. You are the all-powerful. And you are pure, unadulterated, unabashed, unembarrassed, plain, pure, perfect love. That's who and what your nature is. Pure, perfect love. And if you lean into love, if you take a nice, sweet, deep breath and you breathe into love, you'll find an untainted, untouched, underutilized power inside of you that is you, greater than anything you ever imagined. Feel free to repeat after me. I am pure love. I am pure love. I am pure love. And I am unstoppable. I'm unstoppable. I'm unstoppable. I'm unstoppable. And yes, as you come back now, in your power, in your love, the whole of the multiverse in your heart, how does it get any better than this? And with the storms, with the equipment, with the move, we still made it through and you still hung in there to the end. I love you. I love you. I love you. To Aya, to Anne, to Babak, to Fern, to everyone, our dream team, to Pookie, to pulling this all together, for Hanabea, for Rue, for the kitties, for everyone. I send so much love. I send so much gratitude. So much love, so much gratitude, so much love, and so much gratitude. Of course, come join us for the School of Mystics. We will help you take this love and light and discovering who you are to an entirely new level. And we'll start this Wednesday by clearing, and clearing some more. Oh, goody. And people can tell you in the chat just how powerful, and I see the word appreciated from Lady Tammy. Thank you, Lady Tammy, how much appreciated our clearings are. And then Thursday, for the most amazing show, also about stepping back into your power. And how does it get any better than this? And that's from RJ Spina. We're going to be talking about healing everything, which really comes from the inside first and foremost. Oh my God, there's so many beautiful words here. I can't even begin to keep up. Words and butterflies and hearts and more butterflies. Becky, I love you too. Oh, I love all of you guys, Angie and Becky and Celestiana and Natalie and Amanda and Linda and Angie and Sophia, Janine and Stacy and NBH, and Luminous Light and Janet and Susan and Linda and Denise. Oh, yes. You are all starlight. You are all starseed activators. You are all everything. You're everything, 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 everything. How does it get it's better than this? Celestiana, shoot us a line. How does it get any better than this? How does it get any better than this? And Mary has the last word of the night. If we realized just what we are made of and gone through, there would only be peace and love. More brilliant, wiser words, Mary, have never, ever been spoken. All right. Love you guys. I could just keep going on, but now I get to get to the Pookie. And I get to get everything set up for a beautiful move part 2 in the morning. Love you guys. Woohoo! How does it get any better than this? It begets a very serious question. Are there those who want to keep us sick?
What we're experiencing is the thrashing of a dying consciousness. The more that we are subjugated, controlled, manipulated, coerced, put into a fear state, the more that we have to break free of that. And the more pressure that you put down, the more like a rubber band we're going to snap forward. That is essentially what is going on. You can go up to the Etch-a-Sketch level, and once you're in that state of consciousness, you literally start to put yourself back together, the perfect version of yourself. You're starting to access this, and then you re-merge with that, and you bring back the perfection that you really are.
Every day there's a new horizon. Birds keep on singing, earth keeps on spinning. Time to toss any fears that rule you. Dance to vibrations, no limitations.